what is the quintessential A+ quarterback in your mind? What does that look like today?
If I was building a quarterback, let's say I got to all right, I put a little bit of this, a little bit of that. So the number one feature that I want in a quarterback is confidence, right? Because that's probably the biggest determining factor in how successful somebody is. And I think that people oftentimes think it's athleticism or the ability to throw hard, whatever. Nah, Tom Brady was both unathletic and couldn't throw that hard and is the best quarterback ever, in my opinion. But so confidence, then decision-making speed, then accuracy, then athleticism, then throwing power. Would kind of be how I would rank those things, or the qualities that I really want in a quarterback.
Confidence is it can seem like this nebulous, intangible thing that people just throw, but isn't that the case? I mean, isn't that so true? I mean, we've talked about a million different quarterbacks, but even a Baker Mayfield, look at the way he's playing right now. I know, he's loaded with confidence. He is a weapon out there, and that's the case for anybody.
Yeah, and let's look at somebody like Kirk Cousins, right? Think about Kirk Cousins last year when he was with the Minnesota Vikings. How well he was. You would never see him miss a read. You would never see him miss a throw. He was super accurate. Of course, he loves turning down big plays and getting the completions. But if you watched him this Monday night versus the Eagles, yeah, they ended up winning the game. But you just saw the lack of confidence in the new system, new offense, new players around him. He was not always ready to pull the trigger at the appropriate time. And I'm sure he's going to start gaining confidence very, very quickly. But just watching him early on, you're like, oh, this isn't a confident quarterback. He still has all the same physical tools, but it hasn't looked the same. Without that confidence, the ability to pull the trigger, the ability to know that you know, right? You got to know that you know in order to be successful in the NFL. You got to, know what the hell you're doing on the offensive side of the ball, and you got to know, I got a good idea what they're doing on defense. And you can rip stuff. You can throw things early. Someone who's playing with so much confidence right now, Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold drops back. He hits the top of his drop. It's one hitch, delivering the ball. Brock Purdy. You talk about Brock Purdy's ability to get through progressions, see things, get from 1 to 2 to 3. It's because he's so confident, right? Kyle Shanahan, I'm not the biggest fan of him as a person. I'm the biggest fan of him as a play caller, play designer, right? He designs these things. He gets these quarterbacks playing at the highest level because they're confident. When he tells you something, you know that it's true and you know that you can go execute on it.
Start there with Darnold. I mean, yeah, I didn't see this coming. I know it's 2 games, but watching him against San Francisco, pull the trigger, difficult throws, where do you think that confidence is coming from? Because this is somebody that was essentially left for dead. Right? I don't know if anybody expected him to look half as good as he's looked so far.
Well, one, you have someone who knew that they had a high level of talent. So he can draw on a little bit of talent, confidence. Yeah, I've done this before. I've got the talent. I was a first-round draft pick. Then 2, he has a play designer who is scheming things up in a way that there's something always. He's giving you a bunch of solutions, right? And you can be confident as a quarterback. You walk to the line of scrimmage, you know you have an answer no matter what the defense is giving you. You have a plan. And having the answers to the test, right? You just got to go through your steps and you'll have the correct answer. That's what Kevin O'Connell has given Sam Darnold. And you see these guys when they're with these great play callers, their confidence grows from that. Right, it's really hard to have that same level of confidence when you don't have confidence in your coaching staff and the plays that are calling, and you're not seeing things through the same set of eyes as they're seeing. Baker Mayfield right now, he's on fire, but him and his OC are seeing things through the same eyes, right? And when you have a play caller and a quarterback who see things through the same set of eyes, you're on fire. You want to know who's not confident, who doesn't see things like the coaches? Bryce Young. He's not confident in himself right now. He's not confident in things that he's doing on offense, and he's not confident in his offensive line. As talented as he was coming out of college, he will not be a successful quarterback until he regains some sort of level of confidence.
Are you surprised by how bad he's been. I mean, we talked ahead of that draft, and I mean, you said it then. CJ Stroud is who I would take first overall. Like, he's got the decision making, the accuracy, born to throw a football. So you're on the record here at Go Long, pointing that out. Just gotta say that. And maybe Carolina should have consulted, with Quincy Avery back then. But I don't know. I'm surprised, and I get it. There's a lot. He's from the ownership on down with the Carolina Panthers. Not ideal, to put it mildly. But still, he just looks small, is plain small. I'm surprised that it's gone this poorly.
So Bryce Young is somebody that I'm a big fan of. So I want to be very measured with the words that I'm saying. When you're that small, right? You're that small, and you don't have a redeeming quality, whether it be elite speed, elite quickness, elite arm strength. It's very, very hard to come by. Every level of football that you play, there's like a minimum required talent level, just overall talent, physical skills, and gifts level, to be successful. Now, his talent and skill level was far above what you needed in college. So you got to see everything else shine. In the NFL, he's like right there, right? He's a really accurate, great processor, but he's absent some of the physical tools. Now, is there a situation he could be successful in? Yeah, I think that there is, right? It has to be somewhere who's asking him to see things early, get the ball out of his hand, right? Make quick decisions, like use him in the same way you saw Tua. If we replace Tua and Bryce Young right now, I'm not sure there would be much of a difference on either end, both from the Dolphins or the Carolina Panthers. That's if Bryce Young is playing for a coach like McDaniel, who breathes confidence into a young man, who makes him feel good. Now, I don't think that anybody's talking to Bryce Young the way that Tua is talked to by Flo, but I think that he's been beaten down enough where it's had the same effects on him as a person. It's tough to get up in the morning and go be the starting quarterback of an NFL franchise, right? When you're hearing these things day in and day out. And it's very easy for people to say, like, well, he's a starting quarterback in the NFL. Like, he's this or he's that. He's still a human.